What's going on, friends? Harley-Davidson isn't outdated, maybe just a little overpriced, and honestly, Harley-Davidson right now is probably more technologically advanced than they've ever been, and also, Harley-Davidson is really starting to head in the right direction, at least so it seems. Now, I know that's debatable and arguable, but right now, Harley-Davidson, the new CEO, has laid out some plans to get the cost down at the dealerships, keep the quality in the motorcycles, in fact, improve the motorcycles, and at the same time, try to get prices down a little bit to get the wheels at Harley-Davidson turning again. Harley-Davidson has got a long road ahead in getting the company restored, but Harley-Davidson's biggest competition in Indian has just made a major move, and I will get to that later on in the video, but this move is going to force Harley-Davidson to adapt, overcome, and have to figure out some things and do things right to get the brand back to where it was. But as I mentioned, the new CEO, it sounds like he's got some really good plans in place just to make this happen. And not to mention, the CEO did something that was totally unexpected, and I don't think a lot of people have heard about this yet. Guys, please don't forget, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. So Artie Starrs, as I mentioned, made a pretty bold and unexpected move even before he took the job. He quietly walked into a dealership, connected with a sales rep, just like any one of us would have done, and signed up for a new rider course and bought a new Harley-Davidson Heritage Classic. Now, I would say that is a pretty strong statement from a guy that's tasked with taking over a company, especially when they deal in motorcycles, and the guy has never ridden a motorcycle in his life and has nothing to do with motorcycles. I think that says a lot, and that's a really good step in the right direction. Now, as for plans for fixing Harley-Davidson, Artie Starrs has immediately started by mending fences with the dealerships. As you know, the relationship with the dealerships and the parent company from Harley-Davidson had gotten pretty sour there under Jochen Zeitz. But Artie Starrs is getting on the ground, going out, talking to people. He's trying to rebuild that relationship with the dealers, and he's also, first point, is trying to lower the dealership's operating costs. So in theory, by lowering the dealership's operating costs, that should bring the price down on the motorcycles, theoretically. Well, as we all know, once prices go up, they very, very rarely ever come back down. Now, dealerships obviously want to sell motorcycles, and in the CEO speaking with the dealerships, they are finding out that obviously it's really hard to sell a premium motorcycle at a premium price when the quality in the bikes is really kind of lacking for what they're asking for with these new motorcycles. The new motorcycles are kind of bland, not really what they used to be, and they've cut back so many things on these bikes while charging more for them. And so by listening to the dealerships, they hear this every day, the dealerships do, from the customers on basically what they want to see out there on the showroom floors. And mainly what dealers are hearing is, oh man, I wish Harley-Davidson would get back to this or get back to that. You know what I'm talking about, the classic look, the classic paint schemes. I call it classic, but that really is just Harley-Davidson, and this new modern era Harley-Davidson hasn't really resonated with the customers, either the younger customers or even the older customers that are buying their last motorcycle. So far, it sounds like we're trying to get to a good spot and we're headed in the right direction, trying to find out what people would like to see, what they would like to buy, and also price it at a price point where any customer could reasonably afford it. I mean, granted, it being a Harley-Davidson, you're going to expect to pay a little more. Now, this is some great news to hear because Artie Starrs is trying to find a balance between its current customer base, its loyal, hardcore customers that have been with the brand for years, but they're also trying to find a way to connect with a lot of the younger riders that would like to come into the brand. And I believe he's got a good plan in place to do this by offering a couple different lineups here, offering maybe some classic bikes for the well-established customers and offering some motorcycles for some of the new customers that are maybe just coming into Harley-Davidson and getting some models in there that people would actually want to buy if they don't already own a Harley. Now, we've already seen a perfect example of this pre-Artie Starrs taking over the company in the Harley-Davidson Breakout. The Breakout was always a hot-selling, good-looking, popular model in the twin cam era. But when they made the redesign on that bike, sales just fell flat. There wasn't as much interest in the motorcycle. It just didn't resonate with a whole lot of people, especially when the twin cam version, in my opinion, looked so much better. But this year, when they came out with the new Breakout, they redesigned it a little bit and made it look like the old twin cam version, but you got the new, right, the excellent handling soft tail chassis with the Milwaukee 8117, which I love it. I think it is a great package. It's modern, it's got all the horsepower and torque in it, and it even handles better, but it still looks like the twin cam version, which everybody loved, including myself. Hopefully we're going to see more of this coming down the line from Harley-Davidson under Artie Starrs' tenure, because I would love to see some more, I won't say value price bikes, but lower cost bikes that still carry the quality and everything, and they're not quite as stripped back. The Electra Glide Standard was a perfect example. It was a little walked back from the Street Glide and the Road Glide, and kind of where you got the 2-up seat, the passenger pegs, no stereo, little things like that when it came to that bike. But maybe they could just do something like that with still a little stereo, still a passenger seat, and some pegs, and sell it for $20,000 or less. That would be a hot seller from Harley-Davidson, and I hope we see that all the way across the line, from the Sportsters to the Softails, and including the Touring line as well. We need to kind of scale back these high-priced premium motorcycles because people just aren't out there buying up CVOs in droves like they used to. The high-priced bikes aren't selling, so maybe we can kind of scale it back a little bit and try to move some inventory with some reasonably priced motorcycles that are everything you need and nothing you don't. But at the same time, they don't make you feel like you're shelling out a bunch of cash and not really getting your money's worth. So from what little we do know about the new CEO's plans is that this is actually in the works for Harley-Davidson. They want to get foot traffic back in the dealerships. And if you have a product that people want to buy that is actually priced right, it kind of goes without saying, if you build it, they will come. And he also wants to couple this with more community events at Harley-Davidson dealerships to highlight these new, lower-priced, cleaner, cheaper motorcycles while still maintaining the quality and get people back in the dealerships, which is what they really need, and start moving the inventory. This is exactly what Indian Motorcycle has been doing. They have a very wide portfolio of having some lower price models that are reasonably priced for what they are, all the way up to some high-end models, but Indian really hasn't portrayed themselves as being a premium brand, and the only thing we want to sell is $40,000 motorcycles. Now, with the success of Indian Motorcycles, and this is very coincidental that all this happened with Artie Starrs taking over at Harley-Davidson, maybe kind of makes me wonder if maybe Polaris was a little nervous about Indian and Artie Starrs coming into Harley, that Harley-Davidson might actually overtake Indian again and start having Indian lose some market share. You may not believe this, but Indian Motorcycle is no longer owned by Polaris. They sold their majority stock in the company, their majority stake in this company, to a private equity firm and named a new CEO. Now, that's just coincidental with Harley-Davidson getting this new CEO in there. Polaris sold their majority stake in Indian to Carolwood, the private investment firm, and they also named Mike Kennedy as the CEO. This is the same Mike Kennedy that was CEO of Vance & Hines, Rumble On, and also Vice President and Managing Director of Harley-Davidson for 26 years. So for them to name somebody like that to take over Indian Motorcycle and sell their stock in it, their major stake in it, to a private equity firm, just makes me wonder if they're a little nervous that Harley-Davidson really is on the comeback. But anyhow, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments. What do you think of the new CEO so far with some of the things that he's doing? It looks like he's really trying to get the company headed in the right direction. And what do you think about Indian? Basically no longer being owned by Polaris, and Polaris selling their major stake to a private equity firm and getting in a major player in the power sports industry as the CEO. Do you think Indian's nervous about Harley-Davidson now or something? But anyhow, let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Guys, that's all I've got for you this week. If you guys enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't done so already. But till next week, guys, you stay safe on the streets, ride smart, dodge those cars. I'll catch you guys back here next week with a brand new video. Thanks for watching.